Another exciting thing about this week is the East-West Shrine Bowl. A couple of Wildcats will be competing at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for that 7 o'clock game on the NFL Network. I actually like that more than the Senior Bowl. But in Mobile, Alabama, Vegas is a lot more exciting for these, I guess now former student athletes, even though they'll be repping their team logo one more time. But as far as I know, Skylar Thompson will be playing for the West and Russ Yeast, defensive back for the Cats, will be playing for the East. Yeast in the East. So I suppose we could see them on the field together, but against each other. That could get pretty interesting.
Yes, it could. Really excited to see how both of those guys go and perform. Hopefully they'll get some good opportunities there. It's exciting for both to start this, quote, new phase. We all know Skylar so well because he's been here for such a long time, but I said, remember on this show during the season, what a great addition Russ Yeast was as an individual, but also as a very consistent football player. And I hope that maybe he could be a mid to late round pick. I think most would say that he would probably be kind of more towards the late round end, and probably Skylar too. But we wish them the best, no doubt about it.
I didn't notice this until I was looking at the rosters again. I just wanted to double check. Yes, Skylar playing for the West, Russ Yeast playing for the East. Also on that West squad is Brock Purdy.
Wow.
So I guess from what we heard from Skylar Thompson at Big 12 Media Days, he and Brock Purdy are kind of boys now. They're friends.
Yep.
And also another quarterback that's going to be on that West squad is Jack Cohn. Played at Notre Dame. I suppose he could be a draft pick as well. But yeah, Skylar Thompson is still number 9 on Mel Kiper's big board when it comes to quarterback. So I was going through kind of all the K-State seniors or all the potential NFL draft prospects, those who have declared for the draft. And that was one of our Twitter questions earlier today. As I go on Twitter every Monday for Wildcat Insider, ask for your questions coming from Colin Settle, who does work here. But he does ask on Twitter, with Skylar and Russ playing in the Shrine Bowl, what are your thoughts, Wyatt, on those two and then other seniors making the NFL next season?
Oh, Colin, I appreciate the question. I didn't realize he worked for you guys.
Yeah, he's done some play-by-play, some color. He was actually helping coach Wamigo this last year, and he's also done some Scoreboard Saturday for us.
Okay, very good. Well, he's done a lot then.
And I think he's done some anchoring, maybe sports stuff.
Well, I know he's done a lot for the the college station and done a lot of games and stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen him doing that. But well, anyway, the bottom line is, I think like I said with Russ Yeast, think about this now, to come in here as a 4-year guy from Louisville and start and be first team All Big 12. I think kind of gives you a pretty good idea of how well he played. I do think he'll have a chance to get drafted. I think Skylar will have a chance to get drafted. Up and above and beyond that, it probably gets a little bit more sketchy to me. I would say the other guy that I think would be left guard from Hutch. Your young lady there with the Hutch Salt shirt on would like this. Josh Reavis.
Maybe she might know him. Do you know Josh Reavis?
It rings a bell, actually.
But you guys didn't hang out at the same parties or anything?
No.
Okay.
Really big frame, though. He's in really good shape. I think it would be safe to say that he really made his way here. He was a pretty highly regarded guy. He started all of last year and part of another season, but he just got better and better as he got in better shape, and he's been really well coached. I remember talking to him, and I'm paraphrasing here certainly, but I think he feels like he's as lucky as one could be to be coached by Charlie Dickey and then Connor Riley in one college football career. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll have a shot.
I probably have more of a better idea of who could go in the draft maybe after Pro Day.
Sure.
Which is, I believe that's in March. I'm not sure exactly when. And, of course, the Combine, who would get invited to that. I would imagine, Colin could probably get invited to the Combine, and Josh Reavis. Those are probably the two I would pick right now. And Russ Yeast is kind of a dark horse in that 7th round area. And I was just doing a bunch of research. I was trying to get an idea of who would be those two Wildcats. And right now, according to a couple of those draft websites or whatever, they look pretty legit, that Skylar Thompson and Josh Reavis are 7th-round picks right now.
Okay.
And that is despite Mel Kiper having K-State's Skylar Thompson is the 9th best quarterback in the draft. I guess the story is that this isn't a big quarterback type of class when it comes to this draft. I was looking at mock drafts, and it turns out you might not see a quarterback in the first 15 picks. Like, that's just the way it's being mocked right now. That doesn't consider potential trades. I saw some, like, CBS mock draft was saying you could definitely see, like, the Detroit Lions. Like, they could trade their 2nd pick of the draft for a team that needs a quarterback so they don't miss out on their guy.
Sure.
Like Kenny Pickett. Like, the first actual quarterback being taken in the draft is saying, like, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers might want to take Kenny Pickett. Pitt to Pittsburgh.
Well, and
that's an easy move.
Yeah, it is. And the question is, will they have to move up to get him? To me, that's the real question. And I don't know that I am aware of where they draft, but I would guess based on results this year, they would probably be in the upper middle-ish or maybe a little higher than that, maybe 12 to 16, something like that. I don't know that. That's just a total guess on my part. But I think there is need there, depending on how you feel about Dwayne Haskins and how you feel about Mason Rudolph. But Big Ben's out after 18 long years.
Yeah.
So there may be a need there. And you know, Pickett being the hometown college guy, if you will, at Pitt, a lot of people are, you know how the media guys are. They want to make that fit. That's a cool story.
So Josh Reavis, Russ Yeast, Skylar Thompson seem like the three that could sneak into the 7th round or something. If I had to pick one of the other, I would maybe put Josh Reavis maybe ahead of the group. Big guy. What is he? 6'6". He's great size. He's very athletic for an offensive lineman, left guard. He could. I think he maybe does have a future. You never know. We'll see, but. Undrafted free agents, I think you got a lot of them for K-State. Daniel Amaterbaby is one I would definitely throw in as a undrafted free agent. Ben Adler is somebody who I'd definitely throw in there. I'm going to forget some guys. Noah Johnson is maybe.
Some people would say that I'm crazy for saying this too, but I think Nick Leonards has a chance. Not necessarily to be drafted, but to get into a camp and have a shot at it. Again, not the world's best pass catcher, but he's had his moments too. But he just does so many other things well. Things that, not a lot of people see, honestly. Good blocker, terrific blocker.
There's going to be, I'm sure, a decent amount of guys will get their shot, like a cup of coffee, to get into some camp, like Landry Weber maybe. Yeah. Or he might be able to sneak in there and maybe get an opportunity. You never know.
I kind of this is just me on my wish list. I'm going to throw Reggie Stubblefield in there.
Stubblefield is another one, like an undrafted free agent type. Yeah, again, I don't know how I forgot him, but the sauce boss.
How many times did you hear people say, "Well, I don't know that DJ Reed can make it," or "I don't know that AJ Parker can make it," and here they are making it.
Yeah,
and making good money doing it. So it's all about opportunity, fit, needs. A lot that goes into that.
Well, another guy that made the best of his opportunity, Byron Pringle.
Oh, for sure.
Who had 3 touchdowns this postseason. Unfortunately, not going to another Super Bowl. And this could also be that might be all she wrote when it comes to his career as a Kansas City Chief.
Yeah.
This might be the last one. This loss to the Bengals.
If it is, I know I'll be sad about it. I'm sure a lot of people out there will be. But the upside to that is, and there is an upside to it, he's played well enough that he will get an opportunity somewhere else.
Yes.
No question about
Absolutely.
that.
This season did him a big favor of having a couple of multi-touchdown games.
He's a return guy.
Yes.
He's going to do everything the right way. I mean, all that's important, man. It's what it is. I think at the NFL level, and believe me, I'm as far from an expert as you'd find, but I do think there is something to doing things the right way and being well coached in college and knowing how hard it is. Some of those guys come in there and they're just, they're so freakishly gifted they're going to make it regardless of how big a nutbag they are. Okay? And then you got other guys that do everything right, multi-talented, under-the-radar guys like a Tyler Lockett. That's a pretty big gamut there.